All because I added a little extra chili, my mother-in-law slapped me on the spot. Chili's been upsetting my stomach lately, and you still cooked spicy food. Are you trying to make me sick? Holding my cheek, I said, I only made one dish I like. Aren't there plenty of other dishes? Is that any way to talk to Mom? I couldn't believe my husband took her side too. I left to pick up our family's medical reports, only to discover that my mother-in-law's cancer diagnosis had the wrong age on it. My mother-in-law and I had the exact same name. The report said early-stage stomach cancer. The doctor recommended another thorough exam. With early treatment, it usually isn't fatal, but treatment is expensive and takes family support. I crouched in a corner and sighed. What should I do? Treatment might mean selling the house, but if we refused, my devoted husband would never agree. As I hesitated, my husband Ye Chen texted, Honey, I saw the online report. Don't worry, we'll get through this together. Come home first, and don't decide anything about treatment yet. Why would I be the one deciding about treatment? I wasn't the one who was sick. Then my mother-in-law called. Kai, come home. Don't waste money on treatment. I know you want to live, but calm down. Come back and we'll discuss it together. My stomach dropped. They all thought I had cancer, and not one of them wanted to treat me. They wanted me dead. A chill ran down my back. I wandered upstairs looking for somewhere quiet to think. Somehow I reached the 8th floor, the hospital's private international wing. It was expensive and nearly empty, mostly serving wealthy maternity patients. Ye Chen, why didn't you come to my prenatal appointment? Her spoiled tone made it obvious someone indulged her. But Ye Chen was my husband's name. She had him on speaker, and I instantly recognized the man on the other end. My worn-out wife was just diagnosed with stomach cancer. She's dying, so we don't need to rush the wedding. Let her die first. Really? That's amazing. But what do we gain if she dies? I can't wait to become your wife. You don't know? She has a huge life insurance policy. When she dies, I'll collect several million yuan. That's perfect. Our son will officially be a rich kid. I broke into a cold sweat. The husband I'd shared every day with for 3 years only saw my life as a payout. I peeked around the corner and saw the mistress's small bump. She looked 5 months pregnant. Ye Chen, you skipped my appointment today. I'm mad at you. How can I make it up to you, baby? Send me 30,000 yuan so I can buy a new bag. 30,000 was a fortune to us. I had been laid off before the holidays, and Ye Chen's salary had been cut to barely 6,000 a month. His mother never stopped judging me. Then she complained of heartburn and bloating and pushed the whole family to get checked, which led to today's mess. So where had Ye Chen found money for his mistress's bags? From the sound of it, this wasn't the first time. Baby, money's tight. I cover all the household expenses. You already spent my entire 100,000 yuan year-end bonus. Year-end bonus? So Ye Chen had lied about getting nothing. Suddenly, I had an idea. I was going to enjoy everything I'd missed out on. First, I'd go home and see what those two were plotting. Near my apartment, the smell of chili hit me right between the eyes. I opened the door and froze. The place looked like it was on fire, filled with smoke, and my mother-in-law emerged from it like a delighted ghost. Oh, my poor baby. Mom's heart is breaking. Why did this terrible illness have to happen to you? Ye Chen complained as he opened every window. Mom, use the range hood when you cook. What are you saving? 2 cents of electricity. His mother set a dish on the table and kept glancing at me. I was just trying to save what I could so Kai could enjoy herself before the end. Before the end? Even if I really had cancer, early-stage cancer was treatable. How badly did they want me dead? The smoke finally cleared 20 minutes later, and we sat down to eat. Every dish was loaded with chili. At this rate, even the rice porridge might have been spicy. Mom, why is everything spicy? I did love spicy food, but she normally refused to buy even one chili just to annoy me. She claimed she couldn't cook it and told me to eat out, then complained all day whenever I did, saying I earned too little and demanded too much. Kai, don't you love spicy food? Mom just wants you to eat your favorite things every day before you go. I looked into her scheming eyes. The mother-son duo had clearly searched how a bad diet could worsen stomach cancer, especially by repeatedly irritating the stomach with alcohol and spicy food. My heart pounded as I stood and headed for the bedroom. Where are you going? My mom cooked for you out of kindness and that's your attitude? I brought out a bottle of wine I'd saved for years. It smelled wonderful. Then I took 2 glasses and filled one for my mother-in-law and one for myself. Mom, thank you. I'm so touched. Tonight we drink until we drop. She was wary at first, but instantly lit up when she heard that. Good, good. I'm very pleased to see you finally showing some gratitude. You should enjoy yourself too. I'm only following your advice. After several rounds, she couldn't handle it and started coughing. Was this how a cancer patient was supposed to react? No, I had to commit to the act. I started coughing too, even harder than she did. Ye Chen immediately poured her water and gently patted her back. Under the table, I pinched my thigh as hard as I could, and tears came pouring down. I'm fine. Pour Kai another glass. A little wine will settle her down. Red-faced, she pointed at me and told Ye Chen to keep going. He understood immediately and refilled my glass. I ran to the bathroom and tried to make myself throw up, but I was annoyingly healthy. Nothing came out, so I had to fake it. Ye Chen rushed over, eager to see me suffer, but I quickly locked the bathroom door. Honey, don't come in, it's disgusting. I don't want this to be your last memory of me. Outside, Ye Chen could barely hide his delight. It's okay. Let me come in and clean up. No, I'll do it myself. I made a huge clattering mess in the bathroom, then stumbled out looking completely wrecked. Clinging to the table, I sobbed. I'm so moved. To be cared for by family before I die, I'm the luckiest woman alive. Then I raised my glass. Mom, one more toast to you. Our glasses clinked and she drained hers with a miserable expression. Kai, Mom needs to tell you something. Go ahead, Mom. Holding her chest with one hand and mine with the other, she said, Our family isn't wealthy. Don't let doctors fool you with nonsense about early treatment curing cancer. I twitched involuntarily and her eyes immediately turned suspicious. Mom, what exactly are you saying? Kai, I know you want to live, but life is short. Why spend all that money just to suffer? I raised an eyebrow. Mom, I don't understand. If you had this illness, would you refuse treatment too? Ye Chen slammed the table and stood up. What kind of garbage is that? Are you saying my mom is denying you treatment because she wants you dead? Wasn't she? How could he say that with a straight face? Frowning, his mother waved him down. Kai, don't be angry. Mom's telling the truth. If it were me, I definitely wouldn't get treated. I stared straight at Ye Chen. Cornered, he sat back down with a dark expression. Kai, I've lived most of my life, so I can honestly tell you, life isn't that special. Sometimes leaving sooner means suffering less. She stared at me, then kept talking when I didn't react. I'm not telling you to die right now. I looked up your condition online. You still have 6 months. I nodded. She continued. During those 6 months, live it up. Enjoy everything you've never had. Isn't that better than lying in a hospital bed waiting to die? That actually matched my plan. But there was no way she was being kind. Sure enough, she added, look how much Ye Chen loves you. When you're gone, he may not be able to go on. Tears filled my eyes only because I was holding back laughter. Mom, if he can't go on, he can come with me. Ye Chen anxiously pinched his own thigh when he heard that. Don't say that. He still has to take care of this old woman. Didn't you say life was pointless? The weather's lovely? We could all go together. Ye Chen has to stay and repay me for raising him. You don't have parents, so you have it much easier. My stomach dropped. I knew she had one more big move waiting. Don't you have a wealthy distant aunt who paid for your education? I nodded along. She continued, I heard you're her only heir. You two only fell out because of Ye Chen, right? I did have a wealthy aunt, but she had demanded that I never marry. Only by staying single could I inherit her estate. She had been single her whole life and hated couples, so we parted on bad terms. I had chosen poverty just to be with Ye Chen. Looking back, someone must have removed my brain and deep-fried it. I smacked my thigh in frustration. You know Mom isn't greedy, right? She grabbed my hand again. If this wasn't greed, what was it? Did she want my aunt's affection instead? What Mom means is, while you're still here, you and Ye Chen should get a fake divorce. Then apologize to your aunt and secure the inheritance. A chill swept over me. I looked coldly at the old woman. And then, after you die, Ye Chen and I will use the money to build you a grand shrine. We'll honor you every day. When Ye Chen dies, you can be reborn together and marry again in your next life. Doesn't that sound nice? Nice, my foot. I'm not some saint who needs a shrine. What a shameless old woman. Ye Chen nodded eagerly and gripped my arm. Honey, Mom's right. That's exactly what I want. I want us to be husband and wife in every lifetime. Get lost, I don't. One lifetime with you was already too much. My aunt had actually never stopped worrying about me. Her secretary often called to ask how I was doing, always hinting that I should divorce Ye Chen and come home. An idea struck me and I hesitated. I could do that, but... Excited, Ye Chen dragged his chair closer, making an awful scraping sound. But what? What's the problem? I don't have a cent right now. If I want to repair things with my aunt, I need to show some sincerity. Ye Chen instantly deflated and slumped in his chair, but his mother gave a calculating smile. I still have 60,000 yuan. I was saving it for a nice burial plot for Kai, but if she needs it now, I'll hand it over. I almost laughed. 60,000 to impress my aunt? She might as well buy the mistress another bag. Mom, my aunt's estate isn't worth 1 or 200,000. It's worth tens of millions. She and Ye Chen jumped to their feet. What? What did you say? Tens of millions? Watching their greedy faces, I popped a chili into my mouth. Mom, I haven't had enough to drink. She frantically pointed at Ye Chen. Quick, son, go buy Kai 2 more bottles of good wine. I smiled at her. Mom, do you think drinking this much with my condition will hurt? Of course not. You only live once. Drink as much as you want. We drank plenty that day. She kept forcing alcohol on me and piling throat-burning spicy food into my bowl. I insisted I could only enjoy myself with company. Whatever I drank, she drank. However much chili I ate, she matched me. Ye Chen didn't care about my pain at all, but the moment his mother looked uncomfortable, he panicked. Good thing you're the sick one. If my mom were ill and treated herself like this, I couldn't bear it as her son. So you admit this is self-destructive? Then why didn't you stop her from forcing drinks on me? The next morning, Ye Chen had no answer. The night before, we'd agreed to sell his car, which would raise around 200,000 yuan. We'd use it to buy my aunt a high-quality jade bracelet. Ye Chen was heartbroken. It was our only car, and the one he used to drive his mistress to appointments. Too bad. They could take the bus or subway now. I had paid the down payment on our home, so the deed was in my name. When Ye Chen and I got divorced, neither he nor his mother even mentioned transferring the property. They really thought I was an idiot. They expected lovesick little me to claim my aunt's fortune, remarry Ye Chen, and then eat chili every day until my condition worsened. After I died, he would take the money and proudly marry his mistress. They still thought they could outsmart me. They had no idea who they were dealing with. I bought the bracelet, then sat on the couch pretending to hesitate. My mother-in-law paced around me in a panic. Kai, what are you waiting for? Go win your aunt back! I looked up sadly. Mom, shouldn't we have some pride? We could spend this $200,000 on treatment, work hard, and survive on our own. Stop talking nonsense. $200,000 isn't enough for treatment. Besides, this disease can't be cured. Better to let go sooner. She got so worked up that her stomach started hurting again. Clutching her chest, she collapsed onto the couch with a twisted face. It hurts so much. How come you have this disease, but I'm the one in pain? Holding back laughter, I said, maybe my symptoms haven't started yet. She gritted her teeth, desperate to see me suffering instead. I left her alone on the couch to enjoy her pain, grabbed my bag, and headed out. I had called my aunt's secretary in advance. She was thrilled to hear I was coming home. Before I walked in, I felt nervous. For 3 years, I'd believed I had wronged my aunt. When I was 10, she took me out of an orphanage and paid for my education. I lived in her home, but she traveled abroad constantly, so we didn't spend much time together. She had always treated me well, but she shouldn't have controlled my marriage or used money to pressure me. Still, she was my only family, and I had never stopped caring about her. My aunt waited in the foyer, carefully dressed. We stared at each other, both nervous. So much for being composed. I burst into tears. The sound of my crying broke her heart. Forgetting all dignity, she rushed over and pulled me into her arms. Kai, my child, you're finally home. I was wrong. I shouldn't have interfered in your life. I shook my head against her shoulder and sobbed, No, Auntie, I should have listened to you. She lifted my face and asked gently, He hurt you, didn't he? She wiped away my tears with her warm hand and gave me hot tea. The familiar tea soothed me, and I told her everything that had happened. She laughed so hard she nearly doubled over. My child, that clever streak definitely runs in our family. I swallowed the tea with a bitter smile. Auntie, I came home to apologize. I was young, chose the wrong man, and broke your heart. I also need your help creating a fake will. She looked at me seriously. You don't need to apologize. We're family. Families clash, and time softens misunderstandings. I never changed my will. You've always been my only heir. I was too moved to speak. She put an arm around my shoulders and whispered in my ear, Come home, my child. Auntie, let me enjoy this ridiculous little chapter first. I photographed the will, then headed home. The moment I opened the door, I saw piles of unfamiliar belongings. Then the mistress strutted out of the guest room like she owned the place. She pushed out her barely visible bump and held her chin high. Ye Chen and his mother followed behind her, practically bowing. Kai, you're back! Well, did your aunt give you the inheritance? My mother-in-law's beady eyes gleamed, and she was practically drooling. I forced a smile. Not that fast. I was lucky she agreed to see me. Still, she was happy, and I showed her the divorce certificate. My mother-in-law grabbed my arm. At the words, divorce certificate, the mistress's eyes widened. Didn't your aunt suspect you were faking the divorce? What did you tell her? I said that was impossible. Ye Chen cheated, so I would never remarry him. All three of their faces changed instantly. His mother gave an awkward laugh. That excuse is ridiculous. Ye Chen loves you more than anything. I tilted my chin toward the mistress. Then who is she? Ye Chen stepped forward and took my hand with a smile. She's my cousin. She's pregnant, recently divorced, and has no one to care for her, so Mom invited her to stay. Yes, she's my niece. The mistress rolled her eyes, stared at her manicure, and clicked her nails together. I twisted around and stomped my feet. Honey, even your pregnant cousin gets her nails done. Mine looks so bare and ugly. Ye Chen sneaked a glance at his mistress, then had no choice but to calm me down first. He agreed to pay for my nails, so I immediately demanded the most expensive, over-the-top set. But there was no money left. The moment she heard that, the mistress's face darkened. Ye Chen didn't dare cross me now, so he gave in. Fine, I'll give you the money. His mistress angrily reached for him. Ye Chen sensed trouble and quickly dragged his mother toward the door. Mom, let's go buy something tasty. It's almost noon. They must be hungry. Once that heartless mother-son duo left, I slowly approached the mistress. Cousin, settle in. My mother-in-law will take excellent care of you. She lifted her chin and stepped back. Of course. I already think of this place as my home. She really was getting comfortable. I smiled anyway. Good. That's exactly how it should be. Your cousin Ye Chen got a 500,000 bonus. We're doing well, so feeding one more person won't hurt. Her jaw nearly hit the floor. She stared at me, shocked and furious. What, his bonus was 500,000? I smiled. Yup, your cousin's impressive, isn't he? She stomped off to the bedroom. She only came back out after Ye Chen and his mother returned. She pulled Ye Chen toward the bedroom. Come help me check this light. Ye Chen eagerly agreed, then glanced back to read my expression. I slipped into the kitchen. More chilies. Apparently, if they couldn't poison me with spice, they couldn't sleep at night. I leaned toward my mother-in-law. Mom, cousin's family must be pretty well off. Her spatula froze midair. Well off? I nodded, definitely. Didn't you see her handbags? They're worth at least 200,000 combined. She dropped the spatula. What? She spent over 200,000 on a few bags. Look them up yourself. They're all luxury brands. Mom, rich girls really do live differently from us. My mother-in-law's chest heaved with anger. She gets manicures, designer bags, and skincare that costs $3,000 or $4,000 a bottle. You've never used anything like that, have you? She doesn't even have a job. Where does she get the money? My mother-in-law trembled all over, then grabbed the spatula and went back to frying chilies. From a man, obviously. Ye Chen got $100,000 bonus, yet he didn't even buy us face cream. He hid it all. If his coworker hadn't told me, I'd never have known. She exploded and flung the spatula. He got $100,000? How did I raise such an ungrateful son? She bolted from the kitchen without turning off the stove. I rescued the spatula, killed the flame, and eagerly followed. She yanked open the bedroom door and found the mistress pounding on Ye Chen in hysterics. Ye Chen begged, "Stop, it wasn't that much. I gave you the whole bonus." Hearing that only made his mother angrier. She dragged him out by the ear. "You got a bonus and didn't tell your own mother? How did I raise such an ungrateful brat?" With his hair a mess, Ye Chen stared blankly at the three women before him. His mistress was tear-streaked. I waved the spatula. I moved closer to her. "Cousin, you're so lucky. I nearly worked myself to death in this family, cooking and serving everyone. If I'd had a baby, they'd have put me back to work before I recovered." She shuddered. "Ye Chen, is my cousin's family really like that?" I nodded. "Yep. Look how fierce your aunt is. She nearly tore the house apart over one little bonus." The mistress looked even more frightened and backed away. Ye Chen and his mother were too busy fighting to notice us. Ye Chen kept begging, but his mother screamed, "I know where the money went! Return everything you bought and transfer the money to my account now!" The way she clenched her teeth was genuinely terrifying. Ye Chen panicked. "Mom, calm down. Aren't we about to be rich? This little bit of money is nothing." "Nothing? You dare say that to my face now?" I saw her frown and sensed she was about to calm down, so I immediately grabbed my stomach. "Ow, it hurts! Honey, I haven't secured my aunt's inheritance for you yet. I might not make it." My mother-in-law hurried over to support me, and I casually shoved the spatula into the mistress's hand. "Cousin, can you cook?" She gripped the spatula while all three of us stared her down. She had no idea what to do. "Surely you can handle basic chores. You're staying here for your pregnancy. You can't expect your aunt to serve you all day." My mother-in-law's face turned serious. Ye Chen kept pushing her toward the kitchen. "Go on, show us what you can do." I... She waddled toward the kitchen, belly forward and spatula in hand. I peeked in. She truly couldn't cook. Lunch was burned, dry, and painfully spicy. All you could taste was heat and bitterness. I filled my mother-in-law's glass. "Mom, we drink till we drop." She looked miserable and begged between heavy breaths. "Kair, can we stop? I've been drinking with you for days. I can't take it anymore." I set down my glass in disappointment. "Mom, I guess I won't enjoy anything before I die. Forget building me a memorial." Hearing that, she forced herself to raise the glass. "We drink till we drop." By the end of lunch, her face was purple red. She looked ready to collapse and land in the hospital. I jumped up. "My aunt wants me to travel with her. If I behave well, she'll sign her will." Ye Chen and his mistress shot to their feet and asked together, "Really?" His mother tried to celebrate too, but she was hugging a trash can and vomiting so hard that no one understood her. "She's so rich." Then I let my shoulders fall. "But I'm broke. I can't ask Auntie for money now. If she thinks I only came back because I'm desperate, she'll assume I'm after her fortune." Ye Chen slapped his thigh. "I'll get you the cash." His mistress anxiously grabbed his wrist. "Cousin!" Ye Chen shook her off. "Stay out of it. Baby, how much do you need?" I pouted pitifully. "I'm going to Europe. How much can you get?" Ye Chen hesitated. I raised my phone. "Look, Auntie already drafted the will. She'll sign after our trip." He squinted at the screen and instantly beamed. "I'll get you 100,000. When you transfer it, write gift, non-refundable. I'll show Auntie and say it was property I received in our divorce." He tapped away on his phone and nodded without looking up. "Don't worry, we'll make the act convincing. Your husband's smart. Oh, very smart, my dear ex-husband. The second the money arrived, I disappeared. I counted on my fingers. The house was mine. The car was sold. And that heartless mother-son duo had almost nothing left. Auntie slipped a jade bracelet onto my wrist. "Wear this for now. It's nothing special. After Europe, I'll buy you one worth 7 figures. I smiled and nodded. She smoothed my bangs. "The house is listed and ready to sell." I nodded again. It would sell easily. People had already asked about it. That nap on the plane was the first peaceful sleep I'd had in days. The moment I landed, Ye Chen's messages flooded my phone. "Where are you? Come back. My mom's in trouble. Send me the money now. The medical reports were mixed up. She's the one with stomach cancer. Did you know all along? Give me my money back." The rest was a wall of filthy insults. I simply turned off my phone. After 10 wonderful days in Europe, I sent Ye Chen a photo of Auntie's will. "Got the will," he replied instantly. "Really? Honey, you're amazing. Send me some money first. Mom needs treatment." I smiled as I typed, "Ex-husband, whether you get money depends on my mood." He went silent for a long time. That evening, however, his mistress finally snapped. "Give Ye Chen his money back, you fraud. I'll sue you." I replied, "Go ahead. Let's see who can afford the longer fight." Then I sent her a few vacation photos from Europe. See this? Life without Ye Chen is fantastic. Stay with him and all you'll do is cook, clean, and serve him. His sick, miserable mother is a preview of your future. She understood my warning, but she still wasn't smart enough. She chose an extreme path. After I returned, I heard she went to an illegal clinic more than 6 months into her pregnancy. The procedure caused severe complications, and doctors said she might never carry another child. I put on the designer suit Auntie bought me and drove to the hospital with 2 bodyguards. She feared Ye Chen might do something reckless. The moment I entered the ward, a heavy odor hit me. It reminded me of the Chili's in that hallway, how the tables had turned. The old woman lay pale in bed. In just 2 weeks, she had lost so much weight that her skin sagged and her face looked decades older. The second she saw me, she forced on a smile. "Kyer, you're back! Quick, go remarry Ye Chen!" I smiled and shook my head. Why would I remarry him? I'm not insane. Her smile froze instantly. I treated you well before. I laughed harder. Oh, absolutely. I'll treat you exactly the way you treated me. I was worried you'd be hungry, so I ordered a feast just for you. The bodyguards arranged the food on her hospital tray. Every dish was blazing hot Sichuan food. She stared in horror. I smiled. Go ahead, ma'am, eat. She could no longer hide the hatred in her eyes. Her lips trembled as she pointed at me, unable to form a single word. Don't listen to doctors claiming early treatment can cure you. You once told me life was pointless. Dying sooner meant freedom, and it was better to enjoy yourself than lie in a hospital waiting. Hearing her own words made her face twist with rage. Then I pulled out a bottle of liquor. I slammed it onto the metal tray, making the little table rattle and hum. Life is short, ma'am. Drink up. Enjoy yourself. She shook, beat her chest, and wiped away tears, able only to sob. What a curse. What a terrible curse. Then Ye Chen rushed in and dropped to his knees before me. Honey, you're back. You finally came back. I was wrong. The bodyguards shifted him back. Sir, you may kneel, but please keep your distance from our young lady. Ye Chen repeatedly bowed his head to the floor. Kyer, I know I'm not worthy of you, but please lend me 200,000 for Mom's treatment. I tilted my head. Life is short. Why spend money making her suffer? 200,000 won't cure her, and the disease can't be fixed. Why drag it out? Ye Chen and his mother stared in shock. Like a recorder, I played every cruel word they had once said back to them. I patted her hand. Ma'am, you said yourself that if you ever got this disease, you'd refuse treatment. Just then, a scream came from the doorway. Ye Chen, I'll make you pay. You sold all my bags. The mistress charged in, wild-eyed and holding a knife. Ye Chen scrambled up, looking for somewhere to hide. She lunged and stabbed him high in the thigh. Ye Chen let out a piercing scream. Watching through the gap between my guards, I shook my head at his mother. They really match now. One can't have children, and the other may not either. His mother threw back her head and wailed, beating her chest. My son! I patted her shoulder. Take care of yourself. You've probably got at least 6 months, so don't panic. I left the hospital feeling wonderfully free. Auntie texted, feel good? I replied, amazing. Later, I heard the mistress was convicted of assault. My mother-in-law's illness could only be managed with costly care, so the hospital discharged her. That day, Ye Chen limped along while pushing his mother home. I had just signed the house sale agreement and drove past them. I slowed my bright red convertible. Out of the hospital, ma'am? Look at you, still hanging on. The old woman's face was crooked, and she shot me a furious look. Ye Chen had grown quiet. He kept his head down and wouldn't look at me. I waved. Goodbye forever. I'm moving to another city to do business with Auntie. Best of luck with your bright future. Then I drove away. The past truly faded like smoke, weightless and distant. Ye Chen sent an unusually polite message. Kyer, may I ask, if you sold the house, where are Mom and I supposed to live? I replied, the house is mine. Whether I sell it is none of your business. You and your mother have nothing to do with me. Blocked. Goodbye. Just outside the city, I stopped at a rest area. Auntie texted, no rush, drive safely. What do you want for dinner? I had pepper chicken made. My eyes suddenly stung. For 3 whole years, no one had waited for me to eat, asked what I wanted, or told me to drive carefully. Back then, I only wondered what fault my mother-in-law would find next, whether Ye Chen's salary covered the mortgage, and how much more I could save. I thought that was marriage. I thought every wife lived that way. I thought things would improve when she got older. Ye Chen got promoted, and the mortgage was paid. My phone rang again. This time it was an unknown number. After hesitating, I answered. Are you a family member of Ye Chen? A woman spoke in an official tone. I replied, I'm his ex-wife. She went silent for 2 seconds, probably processing the word ex-wife. I'm with the local community office. Ye Chen's mother was taken to a temporary shelter today. She's very ill and needs care. Ye Chen is injured and can barely move. They have nowhere to live and requested emergency assistance. We confirmed they own no property and have no steady income. But under the rules, people with immediate family legally responsible for them don't qualify. I cut her off. I have no duty to support them. Ye Chen and I are divorced. His mother is no relation of mine. I understand, but what? Ye Chen says you divorced because he cheated, then tricked him out of his money and house. He says he'll sue you for fraud unless you answer for it. I paused, then laughed. Tell him to go ahead. After hanging up, I sipped my coffee and texted Auntie's lawyer. Mr. Zhang, Ye Chen may sue me for fraud. Please prepare the documents. He replied instantly. Relax. I started preparing the day your divorce was finalized. We have transfers, chats, and recordings. If he sues, we'll pursue his double marriage and attempted insurance fraud. Let's see who faces charges first. I sent a smiling emoji and kept driving south. Auntie lived in a gated villa community outside the city. By the time I arrived, dusk had fallen, and she was waiting at the door. She wore her usual silk robe and pearl necklace, with every strand of hair pinned perfectly in place. When my car pulled in, she gave me the kind of smile only family gives. You're home. She took my bag and linked arms with me. The living room smelled of pepper chicken, and the cozy clatter of cooking filled the house. Take a shower, change into something comfortable, then come eat. These past few days must have exhausted you. I'm okay, just a little nauseous from eating too many chilies. Auntie paused. Then she burst out laughing and tapped my forehead. You're still as secretly mischievous as ever. I went upstairs to shower. It was the same room I had used as a teenager. Auntie had kept it and cleaned it regularly. My old photo still sat beside the bed. In it, I wore a ponytail and school uniform, smiling without a care. Looking at my younger self made everything feel unreal. If that girl knew what she would face years later, would she be too scared to grow up? I picked up the photo and wiped away dust that wasn't there. I told the girl in the picture, don't be afraid. She grew up. She became strong and no one can bully her anymore. After my shower, Auntie was waiting in the dining room. There was pepper chicken, vegetables, and my favorite sweet and sour ribs. Sit down, you must be hungry. Have some soup to warm your stomach. She filled a bowl for me. After dinner, we watched TV together in the living room. That long-missed feeling of family finally made me feel safe. 3 days later, I received a court summons. Ye Chen was suing me for fraud. I read the complaint and nearly laughed aloud. He claimed I tricked him into divorce, selling the car and transferring money. He demanded everything back plus $500,000 for emotional damages. I sent Mr. Zhang a photo of the summons. He replied with one word. Easy. I didn't attend the hearing. Mr. Zhang handled everything. We won completely, and that was the end of the case. I looked outside at the blue sky and drifting clouds, remembering her words. What a curse. What a terrible curse. Yes, it was, but I wasn't the one who created it. A month later, Mr. Zhang texted, Ye Chen was sentenced. I paused. For what? Attempted insurance fraud. During her appeal, the mistress admitted it was his idea. Police found the chats on his phone, and your recordings confirmed everything. He got 2 years. I stared at the message. After 2 years, his mother would be gone, his mistress imprisoned, and his house, car, and money lost. What would remain? Nothing. I put down my phone and returned to the reports. Birds sang outside, and the sound was beautiful. Auntie opened the door. Kyer, there's a business dinner tonight. Come with me. I nodded. Okay, tomorrow's the weekend. We'll stay at Aunt Chu's for 2 days. She says the seafood is perfect right now. And your birthday is next month. What present do you want? I looked up at her. Auntie, I already have my present. What present? She paused, then smiled. Silly girl. What followed was simple. I learned the business beside Auntie, little by little. 2 years later, I became vice president. 5 years later, Auntie retired and handed me the company. I heard when Ye Chen left prison, but I didn't go. Someone later said he moved away and worked construction. He looked far older than his age, with half-white hair and a hunched back. The mistress was released, too. She returned home and married a divorced man with a child. Unable to have her own, she accepted that life. All of that happened long afterward. Remembering them felt like recalling a distant dream where I cried, laughed, hated, and despaired. Then I woke, sunlight came in, and it was over. One evening, Auntie and I drank tea on the terrace of Aunt Chu's seaside inn. The sunset painted the water gold. Aunt Chu asked if I still hated Ye Chen. I thought for a moment and shook my head. No. Why not? Because hating someone takes energy, and I have better places to spend mine. Auntie patted my hand. You've grown up. I smiled without answering. Far over the sea, gulls cried and circled before flying toward the horizon. Just like me, they had finally escaped the swamp.